Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 862. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212. I'm with Jessie. What's up, Jessie?
Hi, not much.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on, guys?
All right, so we heard the news. Missy's coming back. I guess she escapes Scarro, or maybe not. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that she's going to be alive, like teamed up with Davros, or she just escaped and we're going to have her own crazy adventure? I'll start with Jessie.
I think she probably escaped. I don't think she would actually. The Master has tried to align himself with Daleks in the past, only to kind of betray them. So I don't think they would fall for it again, to be honest. You can only trick them so many times.
Right.
I think she's just on her own. I think she managed a way to escape.
Especially with the Time War, she kind of is either afraid of the Daleks or don't really like the Daleks, so it's like, she even wanted to give him a Cybermen army to destroy the Daleks. So, what do you think, Chris?
I really hope that we finally get to see what this clever idea of hers was in that second episode. Because, she said, "Oh, I have a clever idea," and then we didn't see her again for the rest of the season.
I kind of thought that was the stupid thing that she explained in the beginning, that she was going to duplicate it, where he got out of that predicament. But I
don't think so, because she said something and then we never saw her again, and that was when she was surrounded by like 3 or 4 Daleks. So I gotta explain what she meant by that. And if they say like, "Oh, she just found a way to escape that isn't creative at all," I'm gonna call foul on that and be like, "Come on, guys."
Moffat!
It might even be him. It's like you can't let that go a whole season practically, and then when it comes back, like, "Yeah, I just got away."
Well, he escaped his own timeline and just didn't explain it.
But that was creative, though. Like,
he
went to the end of the universe and whatnot,
Yeah.
But
I mean, when his timeline, when him and Clara was trapped in, he just evaporated, and you just remember, like, with
yeah. But
that's
still, I just hope that they explain that.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think her role is going to be in this? Do you think she's going to have something to do with the finale, or is it going to be a one-off? Or, what's her purpose? Is she going to be part of this big, huge 2-part finale? Or is she just a little, here you go, I'm here, I'm gone, that's it?
Anything that involves Missy, it's going to be crazy at some point. Whether it's something big or small, I guess we'll have to wait to see. Michelle Gomez's character is a bit big and over the top, so I don't think it would be just like a high and by sort of situation.
Right. Yeah, it's let's see, Moffat is doing what? How many episodes this year? He's doing of course he's doing a finale. Actually, I'm not even sure how many he's doing. So he could probably be doing a middle episode or something, I'm not sure. But yeah, whenever she does return, it's a big deal, so probably have to do with the finale. Do you guys think Gallifrey's coming back too? This is Moffat's last hurrah, so would he use this opportunity to just bring everybody and their mother here? Like, just like the Pandorica and Time and the Doctor, and everybody's coming. Doctor, oh my God, what's this noise? What's this thing?
Villains-wise, yeah, I think so. But I have for some reason, he doesn't like bringing back hero characters for some reason.
Right.
Put as many villains as he can and just have the Doctor with like a couple other people who are maybe new characters or were just introduced fight all of his villains.
Right.
I expect to see all the villains again, probably.
Okay.
I won't be disappointed if we don't, but
yeah,
I'd like to see him bring like some past hero characters back that can still do the show.
That would be pretty interesting.
Like Jack, bring back Jack, bring back Martha, bring back Mickey, bring back a couple of people, that he's met before. Even throughout Matt Smith and Capaldi's early seasons, I wouldn't mind.
Right. Do you think that they would bring back like Donna Noble or something like that to the picture, or
who knows?
Yeah, she'll have a memory. I don't know if you would even explore that. That's kind of Russell T. Davis's thing.
Mm.
All right, so could we be in a situation where Moffat leaves everything all nice? The Time Lords are back, I guess, and, in their own proper time and everything, and then Chibnall just takes the rug out from under us and does some other crazy thing that the Thunderlords are all gone or something. I mean, you think they're going to – see, Chibnall is going to have his own set of rules, his own the way he sees the show, and his own theories of time travel, his own, like, 'cause everybody has their own set, and he's going to want to have his own companions or his own TARDIS or his own sonic screwdriver, his own whatever. So what do you think? Now, we know Capaldi's going to stay with Chibnall, but do you think that we don't even know these companions really, Nardole or Bill? Do you think that what do you think Chibnall will bring to the table that will make it new for Series 11? That's my question.
I'm hoping he won't build up only like connect all these things and then have like a really flimsy conclusion.
Like 3 years worth. And
agreed. Yeah.
Madame Kuvarian just traveled along your timeline. Yeah, there you go. One sentence. Thank you. Yeah, I don't think he'll do that, but I'm kind of hoping that he'll be the type that is deep like Russell T. Davies with the characterizations and stuff like that. Yeah. And, because Moffat was always like, have the thing with Brian. It's like, they'll be fine, Amy and Rory, whatever. And then they're gone. You don't even tell Brian, by the way, they're trapped in the past. Thanks. It's like, so, Rusty Davis was always like deep with, this is the mom. This is the this. This is the that. How does she feel that Rose is gone for a year? How is this going on? Oh my God, she tried to take Mickey to jail for like murder because her daughter was missing. It's like all these things in the background like Rusty Davis did, like, and, traumatize the characters, shake them up a little bit, explain them. Moffat just kind of like, there's the characters, they're there. That's what I didn't like. So I'm wondering, I think Chibnall was more, deep into, characterization and just how they're going to interact with each other. And, I don't know if he's going to create like the thing like Rusty Davis, like, this is the whole entire family of Bill. The uncle, the aunt, whatever. No, it's just, or is it just going to be her by herself? I don't know. Do you think he's going to do something like totally crazy to make it I mean, is it okay the way it is, or does it need to be fixed, Chris?
What was your question? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Is the Doctor Who universe okay the way Moffat has it, or does it need to be fixed? Like, what does it need to be fixed?
I don't think it's like as bad as some people make it out to be. Because I know I read some things on some sites and they're like, this is the worst. I don't think it's bad. I think that there are some things that have to be fixed. Like, for example, I think they need to maybe plan out their finales a bit better, because I have to admit the past few finales we've had have been terrible, in my opinion. I mean, not as bad as I think the worst one was, what was it called? A Death in Heaven?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst episodes of Doctor Who I've ever seen, in my opinion. But I think if they have a clear endpoint and they build it up logically, I think that will solve everything. Other than that, maybe the tone maybe shifted a little bit, not too much. And then I think the one major thing that has to happen, possibly even more major than having better finales, would be let's give Capaldi's Doctor a bit more character.
Yeah.
And let's stick with that character, because I feel like he's shifted from his first season to the next one. I feel like they don't know where he is, so they're just trying to try different things. And I'm like, let's make him really dark. Now let's make him funny. Now let's make him sarcastic. Now let's make him this and that. Pick one thing, focus on that, and then you can add little things every now and then. I
mean, with Matt Smith, he was always, you knew who he was. But I think Moffat is having trouble writing for Capaldi because he doesn't know himself what he wants him to do, like how he wants him to be. I mean, he's wearing pajamas in Magician's Apprentice, a hoodie, and then he's wearing this blazer for like one episode that Clara's like, I always remembered you with this blazer. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's only one episode.
Well, I always say that if you look how he was in his first episode towards the end, that's how I thought, and I wanted him to be like that in Deep Breath. I wanted him to be like that for the rest of his time.
Absolutely.
That was really interesting.
I thought he was going to be deep and dark and menacing, and like the Great Intelligence said, like about future incarnations, the Beast or like the value. It's like where people will see him coming and they're like, oh.
And I think we all thought that when we heard that Capaldi was cast, And then we got that first episode, and that's what we got. And so everyone was like, okay,
Yeah.
this is how he's going to be, right? But then the next season, his first episode, he comes out, like you said, wearing basically his pajamas, and he's playing a guitar in the Middle Ages. And I'm sitting here like, what are you trying to get across to me here?
Or even better yet, into the Dalek, he's got coffee, He's a cool hip doctor. He's got coffee. He's like, oh, you want a coffee? I just saved your life. Shut up. I was like, what?
And even at the end of that episode, it got confusing when the Dalek looked into his mind or soul or whatever, and he was like, I see hatred.
Right.
Like, okay, so is he talking about this doctor? Because that would make sense.
But it could have been the Valyard coming.
Or
it's
that
darkness. He's going to be, that's what every single villain teamed up for, is because they saw him blow up the universe or something. So that's why they had the alliance with the Pandorica. That's what they saw, him becoming the Valyard. So, but they have something great and they don't go with it. It's like we lose it. Because then we go to Robin Hood, and he's like, oh, I'm jealous of Robin Hood being with Clara. And it's like, oh, it was a great episode, but it was totally different from what we had before. And I'm like, oh, what about you, Jessie?
Frankly, I like Capaldi, so
yeah.
I do like his darker side, but all the doctors kind of have a bit of a funny side.
Yeah.
Maybe because maybe doctors like Tom Baker and Matt Smith and they were a bit more jovial most of the time.
Right.
But if you have a darker doctor, you can still have some humor, just not all of the time.
Right.
I really like him as the dark doctor that I saw, because when I saw Deep Breath, I'm like, he's the doctor. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I like where I'm going with this. I mean, I like his little funny moments, but it shouldn't be all the time. I think that's only how Stephen Moffat knows how to write, to be honest.
Well, he did coupling. I mean, comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought he did great with Matt Smith until he just, started doing crazy things that just confused the crap out of us. But, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I want, like Chris says, he needs to be the same, consistently.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have expected, like Matt Smith, I keep going back to the, Weeping Angel story with Amy Rory. Aren't you pissed? You're going to leave that in New York, that one angel? It's like, I would expect to see a thing off camera, and then they show what happened. He's traveling, he's like, oh, the heck, I'm going back. And he just grabs that sucker, and he does, something out of David Tennant, where David Tennant threw this one out the airlock, threw this one down the planet, chained them down, put this one in the mirror. And it's like, oh, it's like, really? Don't press that button. You cross that line, you pissed them off. But Capaldi, I would have expected, they kept him trapped for 4.5 billion years, but it was 4 minutes their time or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think we should have been a little more angry with the timelines. Just a little bit, to me, there's so many things you could have done. And with that Clara thing, that was just a cop-out that she's traveling around the universe. Mm-hmm. And then he erases and that's another key plot device, is that the device that they had was a human device. They says, oh, give me the setting for human. So technically, if he is half human, that's why it worked. Halfly, meaning
I always thought what they should have done with that was he should have lied. He should have been lying to her, pretending that he had his mind wiped, and at the end of the episode, he sees her go away, and then you kind of maybe he starts crying or something, and then he leaves. I never really, like you said, I never really understood why they felt the need to wipe his memory. And then the next scene, he sees a picture of her, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then
that's who she is. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so what the hell are we trying to accomplish?
Who's Clara Oswald? And the TARDIS would be like, beep, 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 there you go. So that he could have saw everything that the TARDIS saw. And then the Gallifrey thing was totally wasted on Clara. They should have just, oh, where is it? I don't know. I'm going to find it. Curious, and I'm going to find it. And looking around, But they didn't even explain how they got out of that bubble thing, which that's what we got to see this season. Maybe there's something else we missed. Maybe the Valyard was behind the voice in the TARDIS and blowing it up, and he just went crazy. And then he was more mellow when he went after the Sixth Doctor. But they got to explain everything. He's got to explain everything before he goes away, because then his legacy will be poop. Basically, Moffat. It'll be poop. It would be. They're like, oh, what did you think of Moffat's legacy? Poop. Basically, because he didn't explain anything. So he's full of it. So I don't want that to happen. I want Moffat to go on and high and say, oh, that's why that happened in that. That's why. It makes sense now. Everything makes sense. You know? Why, if Missy was like watching a doctor, why didn't she encounter Matt Smith? Because he blew up her TARDIS in the 11th hour. It was the red telephone booth. He went like this and the thing blew up. It was like, oh, okay. We want things to make sense. Somewhat. I know it can't always make sense, but we need some answers. Give it to us. So hopefully Moffat just delivers. We also have the Christmas special next year, which I don't know if that's going to be connected. What would you do, Jessie, as Moffat, if you were Moffat, his last episode? It's a Christmas special.
Oh, God. I need time, man. I would definitely try to bring back Captain Jack. I mean, he needs to know what the fans want. He can't always ignore what the fans want because the fans pretty much help to run the show.
Yeah.
And they want Captain Jack back. I mean, we missed out on Captain Jack meeting the Puns and 11. I mean, that would have been hilarious. There's two young guys that Jack would have been fawning over while Amy's trying to fawn over Jack. And him and Clara would have worked out well, too. But just to see how he'd react to an older Doctor, because all he's seen is Eccleston and Tennant.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe see him with an older, more snarkier, darker Doctor, how would he react? I don't know, man.
We should have had that this year. We should have had Captain Jack this year.
Yeah, exactly.
We got robbed, unfortunately.
Yes.
What about you, Chris? Captain Jack all the way or what?
Well, I want to see him come back, but I had a feeling that we were going to be kind of disappointed because when he came back, I remember everyone saying, oh, he's definitely in the show, and I was like, don't say it until you see the trailer. Like
even Pearl Mackey's page said he's coming back. I'm like, come on!
And maybe he does show up at some point. Maybe I don't know. But honestly, if I was gonna do a Christmas special, I don't know. I could tell you what, I wouldn't make a beloved household appliance or part of the year the enemy. I would make a new type of enemy.
No spoon heads, no tree people.
The mistletoe isn't actually some sort of hypnotic force. It's just a plant. But I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would probably do something maybe not even Christmas related. Maybe like, it's around Christmas time.
Like, and the time was like, you didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
But it's not like the Doctor's not celebrating Christmas or something. Maybe he starts out at the beginning like, yeah, it's Christmas time, and then something completely crazy happens.
Yeah.
Maybe they could do. I'm sure they've done this before, but maybe they could do a holiday on a different planet. That's not necessarily. It's not Christmas time on Earth, but it's a specific holiday for another planet, and you can do some creative stuff there.
You know what they should do? They should do. Because how they have the classic speech, one day I'll come back, yes, I'll come back.
Yeah, yeah.
He should get a message on Christmas leading him to someplace on Earth. And then he sees Susan's grave, and it's like a villain messing with him saying, you were always too late. And then he starts like getting upset or whatever. And like Susan just comes around the bend, like maybe she did, like it's like a thing, and I'm not dead, whatever. Like they need to do a Susan episode. That's what I want to see. With happy ending. There's his granddaughter. There it is. If she's about to die, she regenerates. That's the thing. I mean, she's a Time Lord too, technically, so she should be able to regenerate. I think. I know she didn't go to the academy or whatever, but she's been gone for so many freaking years. Like she should have went to academy and everything already. So. They should do something with her. And Ian Chesterton would be a nice nod for. She
could really show up at any moment, really, because we have really no idea what happens to her after.
Yeah.
After that.
So, Capaldi wants it, and I know Moffat, tends to not listen to people. I mean, Mark Gatiss took him years to get the Ice Warriors, and that wasn't really that hot to begin with. And David Warner, I'm dying for him to appear.
Was that pun intended?
I didn't even think of that, but we'll go with it. Yeah, Ice Warriors. Yeah, but David Warner's always been a villain, so for him to just be a regular, All right. You want to catapult these guys that made them famous. So make David Warner a villain. Do proper casting. Create a character for him. So I just think that Gators 2 needs to do more than Sleep No More, because that was just,
Oh, boy.
oh, we don't need a sequel to that one, but he's going to give us one. So, that's going to be difficult. And like I said, a Neil Gaiman Weeping Angels episode. I mean, think outside the box. Let Moffat give his character somebody else to write. Moffat doesn't have to write the Dalek episode. Moffat doesn't have to write the River Song episode. Let him, trust your people. Here you go. Here's Weeping Angels. Go with it. And I think that's what needs to be done in order for it to be successful. I think Chibnall, he's got the right idea. He's got the whole, this whole big, like a war room, writing room, like something out of Camelot. Everybody's getting in this thing, planning it out, like something out of Independence Day or something, but it's Doctor Who episodes, which is interesting. So they really need to write ahead of time instead of Paul was saying that the scripts always come in late. It's just terrible. They're writing on the fly. I mean, when I went to see Angels Take Manhattan, he even said he was changing the script every day. I saw him. He was there. I saw different stuff filmed that did not appear. And I'm like, where's this jazz musician with Amy and the doctor? What's going on with that? It's like, where are these people? I didn't understand what happened to those scenes. Are they gonna put it in there later on for an anniversary, or make it like he saved them and just do something with that? I don't know. I mean, but he was writing and changing stuff as it went along, and it's like, I think you need to know what you're doing. You don't need to have it that way, because that's chaos. Chaos for the actors too, I guess. Got to know what your lines are. You can't just memorize it like that. All right. So, and again, what do you think about a season? Will Chibnall go traditional 13 plus a Christmas special, or we change that dynamic? What would you do, Jessie?
I kind of want to get back to the classic structure from Classic Who, because you actually had a stretched out story. You had time to the character development, story development. It wasn't 45 minutes of just running around and then it's solved in the last 15. I mean, I was maybe not the biggest fan of the two-parters, because you had less episodes, and even then it was about stretched out too much at times. I just want to have a nice story where it's not fooling around for the whole time and then it's concluded with the sonic screwdriver in the last 5 minutes. I want something where he actually has to think, be more. I know maybe people think cerebral is boring, but he actually had to think a bit in Classic era. And he had more gadgets than the sonic screwdriver, and he didn't always rely on the sonic screwdriver either. That's what I'd like to see more of. Yeah.
I mean, when we've seen Russell T Davis' Utopia list, Sound of Drums and the Last of the Time Lords, that was a classic episode that stretched out, the master story. It's oh, this is cool. That's what we need to do. Or Key to Time, or, something that just spreads out. We're supposed to see the Black Guardian again. When is he coming? They need to bring him back. So I agree. I definitely either a longer story arc, or the episodes need to be longer in length. I mean, if we can have an hour and a half of this or 2 hours of this, why not? Why can't we just have they do it with everything. Walking Dead's going to be, the finale was an hour and a half or something. And then you get more, 2 hours for this and 2 hours. That would be expected to make a 2-hour opener or something like that. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I think they could do more for the openers and the finales, but honestly, I think they could keep it all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a problem with the way it is now.
All right. Are you guys hopeful? You think everything's going to work out? The doctor's going to be in good hands with Chibnall?
Yes.
Okay. You, Jessie?
I hope.
Okay. We'll go with one more question. What's the one thing you want Moffat to answer?
Oh, God.
Voice in the TARDIS, anything, what?
That's the thing. He left so many things unanswered.
You need notebooks to fill out. What did you do, Moffat?
Oh my lord.
How can Amy and Rory see their futuristic self, but then they're trapped in the past and they would have been way dead? So, it's like all this stuff,
Oh my. I don't know. As long as maybe if he answers one, I'll be satisfied.
Okay. Chris?
I want to know what they used to blow up the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Because you're not telling me that they used like C4 or something to blow up a TARDIS. It's not
It
happening.
was some entity that just was screaming at River, scared him. So it's like, what is that?
It's got to be something.
Why is that thing in the TARDIS? What is that? So, I agree. I really want to know what that thing is. That's my pet peeve, the entity in the TARDIS, or that whole Madame Corvarian church thing. Like, could we have like a prequel episode or something, like why she hates him? Like, was she a companion? Did she turn? Did he do something that he didn't mean to, pissed her off? Like, what would cause her to devote her whole entire life to joining this church and then breaking off the church to travel through time? And where the hell they get the time ability to travel through time? Who is behind all that? Who the hell are the headless monks that you mentioned them in Time of Angels? Like, they went to a museum. Oh, this is the final resting place of the headless monks. So they're all out of order. You say how they end, you say how they be, but you don't show what they are. So I want to see the headless monks. How does Nordal get his head back? I mean, okay, well then Dorian Moldavar needs to get his head back. Okay, the river thing. How much more does she know? Because that book was pretty big. That the funny thing is, why aren't they saying that there's not another journal? Because technically there's a second one, because when she went into the library, the book filled up. And then when she had Name of the Doctor adventure, that's a whole new journal. So I want to know what's in the second journal. Because it was weird. The last page was the library. So I want to know how many more adventures she's going to have. Because technically, she should have abundance. There was a birthday that she had with 2 doctors. That's a multi-doctor story. Which 2 doctors? David Tennant, I'm pretty sure, and Matt Smith, possibly. So, all right, that's it for now. So we're going to be talking about other stuff on other casts, maybe later on. So thank you, Jessie. Thank you, Chris. Take care. Bye for now.